Good afternoon, everyone. Well, is there really any better way to wrap up a beautiful weekend rather than spending time with some good friends and some family at this beautiful country club for the first ever Diablo Grande samurai and ninja themed wedding? Family and friends, we're not gathered here today just to celebrate the creation of a traditional marriage. We're here to celebrate the creation of this conventional marriage between two wonderful young adults, Michael Phillips and Katy Young. Can you guys wave to the crowd, kids? Princess waves? Princess waves? Great. So friends and family, please be seated.
She closer.
Who is it who brings this beautiful young lady before this man? Thank you, Pete. You two kids scoot over a little bit. Well, our little lovebirds here, also known as our bride and groom, have asked that I give a short historical dissertation about them, about this setting, and most importantly, about their love. So we're going to start with Michael here. More than a few years back, when Mike was a teen growing up, he experienced what most of us experienced during those times. A minimum of 4 awkward and confusing years. Like most of us, we all figure out our own ways to cope with these awkward years. For Michael, it was the peace and freedom he found hiking in solace while in Del Porto Canyon. Mike spent so much of his time in the canyon by himself that people would often ask him, "Hey Mike, why do you spend so much time in the canyon?" And he would jokingly reply, "Because I'm a ninja." But being a ninja was Michael's humorous metaphor to a more serious answer. Being a ninja was part of Mike's path through this unfair, confusing, and sometimes painful world that we all live. Being a ninja was Mike's path to laughter. It was his path to being comfortable with himself, and it was his path to being a grown man. Now for Miss Katy. Oddly enough, more than a few years back, when Katy was a teen, she too experienced what most people experienced during those times, a minimum of 4 awkward and confusing years. And like most, she too figured out her own ways to cope with this life. And she was also confronted with finding her own path. However, Katy is a Jersey girl. And Jersey girls don't have their own Del Porto canyons to help sort out this life. So much of Katy's path was behind a keyboard and the screen of a computer, where she would follow and research various artists and musicians while making friends all over the world at the touch of her fingers. So one day, when Katy was using her computer and checking the messages from various websites, she had noticed that there was a friend request that had caught her attention. She carefully studied the profile of this mysterious person and thought to herself, "Wow, they have a pretty good taste in music," so she accepted the request. little did Katy know that this simple action, this click of a mouse, was the smallest, fastest, and most important physical action of her life. It was this simple action that put the wheels of a soon-to-be relationship in motion. It wasn't long after this click of the mouse that Michael found out that there was a beautiful girl on the other side of the country, and that she was totally into ninjas. They soon found out that they had many common interests and hobbies, and most importantly, they found themselves laughing a lot. And for the first time in their lives, they were both smiling on the inside. As days went by, their computer acquaintance became a long-distance friendship. Then the long-distance friendship became a face-to-face friendship after Katy took a risk, hopped on a plane to meet this person that had been making her smile on the inside. Then friendship turned into something more. This friendship turned into a loving but painful long-distance relationship. The kind of relationships you see in movies, with layovers at the airport, long flights across the country, complete with euphoric hellos, and devastating tearful goodbyes. As the relationship progressed, Michael and Katy's time was limited to short visits. However, when they were together, Michael and Katy were able to spend time enjoying each other's passions, such as Comic-Con conventions. Conventions where thousands of people dress up like their favorite characters, they laugh a lot, and they remember what it feels like to be young. They were able to listen to music together while looking in each other's eyes. And the Jersey girl was introduced to some of California's natural wonders, like Yosemite and Del Porto Canyon, in which Michael was able to share with Katy what he really meant when he said he was a ninja. Katy not only accepted this part of Michael's love of Del Porto Canyon, but embraced it and welcomed it as well. And it is due to this chemistry and this sense of humor and mutual respect that it was evident that this relationship would move forward. Last year, Michael had made up his mind that there was no way this beautiful girl was going to get away. Michael came up with a plan to ensure that Katy would be by his side in the future. However, he chose to propose to Katy in an unconventional manner. He chose to execute his plan in ninja style with one last ninja mission. While she was on a 2-week visit to California, Michael had taken Katy to their favorite hiking spot, the canyon, and Michael had made sure to dress in his best ninja outfit, which is not out of the norm for a friend over here. And Mike had set up a picnic, and the two of them enjoyed a private romantic moment. Well, at least it was private for Katy, because deep in the canyon were some of Michael's friends, who on Michael's cue made a ruckus and held up signs that could not be read by the naked eye. So Michael loaned Katy his binoculars that he just conveniently had with him, so Katy could see the commotion with her own 2 eyes. Once focused on this strange group of people, she read this message aloud, and Katy read, "Will you marry me?" And to which Michael replied, "Of course I will!" And then another group of friends played music from the other side of the canyon to set this mood for this union moving forward. And alas, after many hugs and kisses, the two of them are much like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich now, and are inseparable. And they stand before us, their family, and their closest friends, pledging their lives to each other. I hope this has given you a little insight into the past, the present, and the future of our bride and groom. And it is also my hope that there is an understanding of this setting and the smiles that are on everyone's faces right now, including the ninjas who have masks, because you can see their little smirks. And though there may be, and by all rights should be, laughs and smiles at grown men wearing samurai and ninja outfits in place of tuxedos, and of the ladies frolicking in their dated dresses in lieu of traditional bridal wear, please understand that it is through this laughter and this ability to be silly and to laugh at oneself that is the foundation of Mike and Katy's sincerest love and dedication to each other. This ability to have fun and to express the young at heart attitude has been and will continue to be Katy and Michael's compass for this life. They request that you share in their smiles, that you share in their laughter, and that you share in their sincerest love with each other. So, by now, some of you may be wondering why I've spent so much time referencing Michael's ninja addiction when he is clearly dressed as a samurai. And for those of you who didn't figure that out, he's totally dressed as a samurai. may have also noticed that Katy is up here standing proudly in front of a large group of people on display, rather than from the safety behind the security of a computer. This is because both Mike and Katy are no longer on their individuals and sometimes lonely paths. The journey that brought them here in front of all of us today is finished. Mike and Katy have no reason to walk this world alone anymore. Their solitary paths end here, and they end now. However, both Michael and Katy do not look at the past with any malice or discontent, as the lessons learned have brought them many laughs, great memories, and an appreciation for quality friendship and quality love that cannot be appreciated without life's lessons. But as with all phases of life, there comes a time to move on. Michael and Katy have chosen to begin this new path in the same light-hearted and humorous fashion that has highlighted their relationship thus far. So instead of being a ninja in solace or a computer guru, this journey starts with a samurai and this stunningly beautiful woman who is the centerpiece of this occasion. There are not yet any stories about the samurai and his beautiful wife hiking in the canyon. That journey and all the associated stories and memories have yet to be made. But they start right here, and they start right now. New costumes for a new path, new costumes for a new journey, new costumes for a new marriage, and new costumes for a new life together. Can we please have the rings? Michael, you take out the ring first. This for you. Michael, will you have this woman to be thy wedded wife, to live together in marriage? Will you love her, comfort her and honor her in sickness and in health, in sorrow and in joy, so long as you both shall live?
I do.
Let's put the ring on her finger. Miss Katy, will you take this man to be thy wedded husband, to live together in marriage? Will you love him, comfort him, and honor him in sickness and in health, in sorrow and in joy, so long as you both shall live? On his finger. All right. Michael and Katy, if there is anything that you remember of this marriage ceremony, it's that love and your smiles are what brought you here today. It is that love and smiles are going to be the only thing that will make this a glorious union. And it is love and those smiles right there by which your marriage shall endure. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Congratulations, Michael. You may kiss your bride. Friends and family, it is my honor to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Michael and Katy Phillips.
Get it, girl.
Attaboy, Mike. Attaboy. Attaboy, Katy.
Yeah.
Woo!